Terraom Rursus by Bleckly. Narrated by Jez Jameson. Chapter 1. Before she gets to them all. Daylight creeps up the thatch wall, eventually finding its way through the opening and pouring into the hut's humble abode. The light drifts over clothing sprawled across the open dirt, becoming less desirable with each day they remain unchosen. It's been days since they've been taken down to the stream. The sun rays continue along the uneven ground. Reaching a bedside woven basket, it climbs. Inside, where the sunlight will never touch it, is a mess of damp clothing. Any illusion of this being a rushed attempt to clean is broken when the scorched marks on the clothes are considered. Ignorant of this, the radiance travels on. A bed of generously padded straw is enveloped by the start of the day. The figure lying upon it is bathed in its light. He's naked, save for a modesty cloth around his lower waist, in case more than light sneaks a look through the thatch hole. Even this small piece of knitted cloth is uncomfortable in the aisle's unrelenting heat. The days regularly reach the mid-30s, and the nights rarely dip below 30 as well. Pushing over 4 cubits tall, the 29-year-old has feet hanging off the edge of the straw, although, as he begins to squirm into consciousness, the straw spreads, giving his toes perch. Of course, he could have simply collected more straw, a sign of a distracted mind the night before, or simply a lazy one, depending on the bias of the one making the passing judgment through the thatch hole. Not that anyone would admit to making such a judgment, or even stealing a glance within. The figure walking swiftly away from the hole at this moment certainly won't be admitting to it. Light reaches the man's head. His long brown hair has gently woven itself into the straw, evidence of a restless night. But the night is now over. Warm light welcomes the man's face. Hadriel winced at its arrival. He groans and tries to hide his face deeper within the straw. This is a mistake. The straw yields to him immediately and unequivocally, but unceasingly. The padded bed begins to spread, taking with it its padding. Dirt meets Hadriel's protesting movement. The taste of it on his tongue finally waking him. His hands move aimlessly around the bed in search of water to wash away the taste, only to give up in the futility of it. "Of course," he mutters, glancing at the woven basket. "Why would I have any spare water?" Hadriel redirects his hands to pull himself up. Scanning the clothes around him, he selects some that appear to have less of a dirt lining than his tongue. A pair of beige reed shorts that will soon need to be rewoven, and a green tunic. The tunic is the oldest piece of clothing he owns, evidenced by the number of holes it possesses, beyond the expected 4. The tunic had been a gift from his mother for him to grow into. Stepping on more clothing than ground, Hadriel makes it to the wooden door of his home and pushes through. Outside he glances out over the hut's glorious view. There are a few huts across the way, and then the ground descends toward the garden plots, not that Hadriel can spot them all from here. Instead his eyes are gazing higher, to the sun emanating down upon him. It's not too far from the ocean's horizon. He hasn't overslept by much. Better than Hadriel expected. Turning, he moves up the steep incline of the aisle. He gives his neighbour Sarkin's hut a wide berth. Better to avoid the one he is bound to disappoint. On the other side of the path he passes by more huts, Hesperos's, Ralia and Jewel's, now that the two of them have finally made their union more than just talk. At the edge of the collection of huts the patchy dirt is intercepted by a stream running from behind Sarkin's hut, across Hadriel's path, and then continuing to follow the fall of the land on the other side. Lush grass is sprouting out from either side of the water source. Hadriel makes his way over to the stream. Kneeling down and cupping his hands, he welcomes the refreshing liquid. Then another. A final one he simply swishes around in his mouth and tongue, and then spits it out, wishing he'd done that first. The stream is narrower than Hadriel is tall, and yet there is a felled log to offer passage. Hadriel takes the log in his stride, passing in 2 paces and arrives.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?